Welcome to Granja Caimito in the Pedroches Valley of Andalusia, Spain. Some of you had been asking about Mama Dog. So here she is. And that is what she likes to do. She eats, she sleeps, and that's about it. And this seems to be her favorite spot. This is a pile of straw that we use in order to add a little bit of a different material to our compost pile, which is there in the back. It is the human manure pile. So the stuff in there is our own poop. But there is no smell because we use biochar, and this catches all the smell. And she likes to lay there and sleep, and apparently it's a comfortable place. If there were a strong odor, she would not be there. So this is also proof that this method works. But like I said, Mama Dog is old now, and she likes to eat and sleep, and this is how she spends her days. Sometimes she gets up, walks around, barks a little bit, and that's about it. And her kids, well, that's a different group of dogs. And they are a lot more active. And whenever there are too many of them in the same place, she goes away. Well, this is what always happens. Tonight we had some frost, and now there's a leak. I will need to go and check it out. But before I check out the leak, I will let them in here, because they are in the adjacent paddock, And here is some forage, and we need some manure in here. And there's always someone last. Now I can close this and open the other gate, which allows them to exit this new paddock towards the animal lane. With some infrastructure, the job is very easy. This place here has been void of any plants when the pigs were last in here, and since then we have grazed it a few times, and now it's already covered. It's not perfect, and it goes up and down because of the wallows that the pigs left, but it has forage, and the biomass content is increasing. And if I walk over here, you can see around this much older oak trees than the others, but it is suffering. I'll show you a close-up in a second. This is very nice grass, and it is not different from the grass that our neighbor who has tilled and seeded has. So I believe, and I have said this a few times already, there's really no need to till. It's all a question of managing the animals and putting them out onto the field, and then nature will do its thing. Nature has done this for thousands of years. Why would anyone want to invent something completely different with a couple of years of experience? I don't pretend to have a lot of experience, I have none, but I can watch. And what I see is this. So this, to me, tells a story. And I'm happy with what I'm hearing and seeing. Well, that down there is a beautiful fountain. It is connected to our pump in the well next to the outflow of the water reservoir, and that is a very powerful pump. It is capable of lifting water up 60 meters and a little bit more, so that we can pump it all the way to the altiplano. So that is why it is such a beautiful fountain. I will now fix this. As we are in winter and there's plenty of water, that's really not a big issue. In summer, it would be a different story. There's actually nothing broken. It just slipped, and now it's not. Now the steel is not good. We will change these waterers in the near future. So right now we use these prefabricated metal ones. They are fine, but with more and more animals, they will not work for us. And the plan is to build for each area a huge and very long animal waterer and accustom the animals to walk to the water. That's good for them, and eventually it's good for the meat or beef, and it avoids this kind of hassle. So there will be some masonry work to make this in a proper way. It will be beautiful, because now we have to think more and more about little details, and that is one of those. I could not really fix it. It's a bit better, but it's only better because I closed this here a little bit, and it still leaks because that blue piece somehow is not good anymore, so we need to replace it. I think what we have here is the alfalfa coming back. So the alfalfa that we seeded here is now a perennial plant in this little spot. Let me zoom out and move a bit so that you can see it better. So that is the spot, and we seeded alfalfa over there around this tree, and I think I see something there as well. I will go there around this tree and also here in between, but it's mostly concentrated between those two trees. And if I come closer here, I think we have it. And there is another one. So this is not full of it, but certainly it has established. So I will now go to the tree over there and have another look. And yes, it is there. There are several plants of alfalfa that are growing around this tree. Of course, it would be nice to be a lot more, but I guess we should seed some more. But we now know that with a very simple way we can establish alfalfa. And here's another interesting thing. Lots of acorns. So this tree has been pretty productive. They are not very big. They are of normal size, I would say, but there are a lot. And that also means that new oak trees might grow. So the soil here is not covered with plants, but acorns. And now imagine an Iberian pig coming here. This will be a feast. But there won't be any for the time being. And if we would let the pigs in here, then the alfalfa would be gone. So no pigs here, and by now I talked about what we are going to do in the near future, so that comes first. So by now you're wondering, what is that? And what are they doing? That is the fat from 24 Iberian pigs. Unlike the white pigs, as they are called in Spain, the Iberian ones, the one with the black feet, has a lot of fat, and you can see how much it is. Traditionally, this fat would have been rendered and then used to make feed for the very same pigs, and also there are other uses for it. Unfortunately, we don't have facilities, and nobody in the modern world likes to buy it. So we cannot really sell it, and we cannot use it to make feed because we lack the facility. So now we use it for something else.
¿En qué momento cogen uno y se van? ¿Y no puedes con eso? Esto lubrica los guantes, ¿o qué se lo lubrica?
In these boxes we have 24 pig heads after the butchering process. So this is another leftover item. Well, it's actually not 24 because we took out 9 to give them to the dogs, and they were very happy about it.
9. ¿No caben, chica? ¿Eh? Sí caben. Estas cajas son de cambio. Habría que llevárselas. Estas cajas son de cambio.
9. 9. Nine. Hey. 9. Geh mal weg. Schneeflocke, weg. Hast du gehört? Weg. Weg. Los, weg. Hey. Hey. Weg. Weg.
Pues sí, vamos a ver.
Nein.
Sí, porque está un buen hueco, ¿eh? Está un buen hueco, parece. Más grande de ellos. ¿Echamos el esqueleto ese que hay ahí?
Nein. Dale al final un chiquito, como premio. Al final.
Vale, cierra. Derecho. No, yo espero por la puerta, ¿no? ¿Eh? Espero por la puerta, ¿no? Sí. Lleva carne.
We used this area before to compost animal remains. That is why you see a few bones lying around. And now we are clearing the good soil that has developed in order to dig a hole. And now comes the bittersweet part. We will now dump all this into the hole and let it compost. That way we will not lose all the nutrients from it, but of course it would be much nicer and smarter to turn this into something that feeds the animal. This place is adjacent to the wannabe food forest, and we do have some ideas to put on a roof of shade clothes, have real compost, have a chicken coop in there, turn compost piles and all this. But as we have to grow the organic material in order to compost it, this will take a while. But that is the reason why it's across from the wannabe food forest.
Paso más por ahí ya. Y aquí otro. Hay dos, ¿ves?
Ahí tiene que ser lo que sea. Bacteriológicamente hablando.
Aquí va. Hay bastante para buscar.
¿De la misma raza?
Sí.
To find these bugs there was a very pleasant surprise. Something is definitely changing for the better. It appears that right here, between all the manure from the horses, we have a surplus of nitrogen. So the nettle plants here seem to thrive. Would have been great to have this influx of nutrients a little bit more distributed. But okay, that's fine also. And right here, the next tree, there is the very same effect. It's full of nettles. We didn't have this before. She's very pushy, but we granted her request, so now she's happy.
Dile a firmar, ¿no?
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Estos son para mí.
These sausages are part of the sausage production that came out of butchering 24 Iberian pigs, and they are delicious. The day is sunny, but the wind is blowing pretty cold. By 4 o'clock, the wind had died, the sun was shining, and it was now pretty warm. It feels like spring. And as you can tell, we still have some construction projects to do. It gets that hot in the afternoon that the dogs definitely look for shade and something that helps to cool them down. They help happily at -10 centigrade outside with no shelter. But when the sun comes out, suddenly it is +18 or even 20, even we are still in winter. This area has been grazed recently and is nicely coming back. Soon we will be able to take the cows here again. That was it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you back in a couple of days here at Granja Caimito in the Pedroches Valley of Andalusia, Spain. Take care.